Dear classmate, today we will do the new chapter, that is chapter number 5, where we find endocrine system and adolescence. Alright? Endocrine system and adolescence. Alright, so before going into it, let me tell you something about the last chapter where we had ecosystem. I believe that all of you must have gone through it and you have understood everything whichever was taught, and so I'll be giving the question answer of the chapter number 4 through WhatsApp only. That means I'll be sending it through WhatsApp. So please go through them. Alright. So now we'll be talking about this endocrine system and adolescence. Here from the topic, let me tell you what we understand is system, endocrine system. Okay, endocrine system means the system which contains the hormone secreting glands. Okay, we have got two types of glands there in the body, that is endocrine gland and exocrine gland. Okay, endocrine gland and exocrine gland. Endocrine gland and exocrine gland. Alright, we have got two types of glands in the body, that is endocrine gland and exocrine gland. So endocrine gland means those glands which do not have duct. They are ductless glands. They are ductless glands means they do not have duct, and they secrete hormones. They secrete hormones. Hormones. You know hormones? Hormones are the chemical substances or proteinous in nature, which are proteinous in nature, secreted from the endocrine glands and transported by the blood to the target places where it shows its specific functions. Because there are different hormones in the body, and different hormones in the body have different functions, have different characteristics. Alright, so these hormones are secreted from endocrine glands. That means the system constituted by the endocrine gland or endocrine glands is called endocrine system. Alright, then we find out here the term called adolescence. What is adolescence and what is the connection between this endocrine system and adolescence? Adolescence that we discussed in the previous chapter when we were going through the human reproductive system. So there we talked about the adolescence. Every human being has that stage from 10 years to 19 years, the age of the life between 10 years and 19 years. That period of life is called adolescence, which is very sensitive period of time. I mean sensitive period of age. Okay, so there a lot of changes take place. Lot of physical and emotional changes take place. So these changes which take place in that period of age are all influenced by hormones. So that these hormones and adolescence, or the glands secreting hormones and adolescence, has been given in the same topic called endocrine system and adolescence. Okay, I was talking about the endocrine gland, and I have told you an exocrine. So exocrine gland is a gland which secretes many things there in the body, but they have duct. They have what? Duct, like salivary gland. Then in the here in the mouth. So in the uppers and lowers, there are glands which secrete saliva. and those glands which secrete saliva are called salivary glands, and they have got the duct, they have got the pipe through which it is taken to the places where where it is needed. Okay, so this is your exocrine. Alright, so let me tell you about the difference between endocrine gland and exocrine gland first. Alright, so okay, let me draw it. Suppose this is suppose your salivary gland. This is your salivary gland, this is your duct. See. Okay, this is the example of your exocrine gland. Exocrine gland, where you can see the duct. Suppose this is your salivary gland, which is an example of exocrine gland. Secretes its saliva through this duct. Okay, it secretes saliva and transfers it to the target places through this duct. Alright, so it goes through the duct to the places where it is needed, where it is supposed to go. It goes through this duct. Duct means something like pipe like structure which is directly connected to that gland. So it is called exocrine gland. Okay, so for example, salivary gland. Then there are many glands which secrete the different kinds of things, and they all have duct. And whereas this endocrine gland is the gland which does not have a duct, so its secretion directly pours into the blood, okay, or into the blood stream. So blood will carry from blood stream to the target places. Okay, I'll draw it here. Suppose, okay, this is your blood vessel. Suppose this is your endocrine gland. Alright, so for example, you see your thyroid gland. Like that, this is your thyroid gland. And there are many others, like you have a pituitary gland here in the brain. Small pea-sized gland is there, which is called pituitary gland. And this pituitary gland is also called the master gland because it controls all other hormone secreting glands also. So this is called the master gland as well. So beside this, there are other hormone secreting glands also, adrenal gland, alright, then your pancreas. So these are the different glands that we have here. Alright, so these are the glands which do not have duct and they secrete hormones directly into the blood vessels. So when it comes here, when it is secreted here, then it goes to the blood vessels, and blood vessels where the blood is there, will carry those secretions to the distant places where it shows its characteristics and functions. This is the characteristics or the difference between the endocrine gland and exocrine gland. Exocrine gland here and endocrine gland here, which is also given there in your book. Okay, so here in this chapter we'll talk about endocrine glands. Endocrine gland. Alright. We'll talk about the endocrine gland here. Okay. This endocrine gland. Okay, it is hormone secreting ductless gland. Okay, endocrine gland is hormone secreting ductless gland. Ductless gland which does not have duct and it pours its secretion, means hormones directly into the blood vessels or into the blood stream. So the blood from there will be carrying them to the distant places where it is supposed to be taken. Alright, so that way you see the endocrine gland. So this hormone this hormone, after being secreted or after being secreted from those glands, as I've told you, will be taken to the distant places and where it shows its different functions, and they are secreted in very small amount, in very little amount it is secreted there, but it is distributed throughout the body, but it shows its function only in the target places, not everywhere, but only in the target places it shows its function. Alright, that's all about your hormone. Alright, so in our syllabus, the endocrine glands include pituitary gland, okay, adrenal gland, then thyroid gland, and pancreas. Alright, so we have these 4 different kinds of hormone secreting glands in our syllabus. The pituitary gland, which is in the brain, adrenal gland here just on the kidneys, so there it is. Then we have thyroid gland. We have thyroid gland here in the what do you call it, your windpipe, just on the either side of your windpipe or your trachea. It is located, which I have drawn here also. Then comes your pancreas. What is that? Pancreas. Here in the stomach, here in the nearby stomach, there is a gland called pancreas, which is also an endocrine gland. But remember, pancreas is a dual gland. Pancreas is also called a dual gland. Remember here, pancreas is also called a dual gland. Why? Because it contains both exocrine and endocrine glands there. Why? Your pancreas contains exocrine gland which secrete pancreatic juice needed for digestion of food, and it also contains endocrine gland, a group of cells responsible for secreting the hormones also. Alright, so both are found in the same organ called pancreas, so it is also called a dual gland. Okay, so today we will talk about this thyroid gland. We will talk about thyroid gland. Thyroid gland. Okay, the diagram which I have already drawn out here is your frontal view of thyroid gland. Frontal view of your thyroid gland, which is located just below the larynx. Your larynx is the region from where the sound is produced. So below that, there you find trachea. Just on the either side of your trachea or windpipe, this gland is located, which is called thyroid gland. It's called what? Thyroid gland. And this thyroid gland is a bilobed. Is a bilobed gland located on the either side of your windpipe. Either side of your windpipe. See, on the either side of windpipe, this bilobed gland is located, which is your thyroid gland. Alright, so this thyroid gland secretes the hormone called, thyroxine. See, thyroxine is the hormone produced by thyroid gland. Produced by thyroid gland. Thyroxine is the hormone produced by thyroid gland located here in on the either side of our windpipe or trachea. Alright, so this thyroxine, now let's talk about this hormone. This hormone called thyroxine is an iodine based protein or iodine containing hormone. This hormone called your thyroid contains iodine, okay, as a very important constituent of this hormone. Okay, iodine being a very important constituent of this hormone, is required in our daily diet. So which we get through the number of food items, among them your iodized salt. Okay, iodized salt is the one which is very important in our diet. By any chance the iodine is not there in your diet, problems will be there because the production of this thyroid hormone will be hampered. So that means the production of thyroid will be less there in your system, and consequently there will be lot of ailments, there will be lot of problems. Alright, so this is an iodine based protein or iodine containing hormone. Okay, and this hormone thyroid speeds up the rate of most of metabolic activities. Most of the metabolic activities of our body are controlled by this thyroid. That means this thyroid hormone stimulates the metabolic activities of the bodies. Okay, it speeds up the most of the rate of most of the metabolic activities of the body. Alright, and also this hormone, this thyroid hormone stimulates the growth in infants. Okay, in the children, if this hormone called the thyroid hormone is less or is not secreted, then the growth of the infant or the children will be badly hampered. Alright, so that's the general properties of your thyroid. So the most important thing about this thyroid hormone that you need to know is that it is an iodine based hormone and it speeds up the rate of most of the metabolic activities of the bodies. Okay. Then now see, let me tell you one thing out here. This hormone needs to be secreted in the correct quantity. How much the body needs. So that much only the different kinds of hormones need to be secreted from the glands. By any chance, if it is secreted, by any chance the hormone is secreted less than required or more than required, in both the cases some ailments, some disorders of the body take place. That means some problems will be there. In the case of more secretion and less secretion of the hormones, in both the cases it causes problems. Alright, so now see, as far as your thyroid is concerned, let us talk about the let us talk about the disorders or the problem caused due to the less secretion of this thyroid gene. Okay, so less secretion in biological term is called hyposecretion. Hyposecretion here. Okay, that means less. See, if the thyroid gene is secreted less than the body needed, okay, or less than the body needs, then what problems can be seen here? Let us see now. What are the problems the body faces if the thyroid gene is secreted less? Okay, now see. First of all, very simple problem, very common problem caused due to the hyposecretion or less secretion of thyroid gene is your simple goiter. See, simple goiter here. Okay, when the thyroid gene is secreted less than the body needs, then this gland, as you see out here, this thyroid gland will be enlarged. It will be enlarged and it looks like your neck is enlarged or swelled up. That's because of the less secretion of your thyroid gene. Why it is? In fact, if there is less iodine content in your diet, then what happens then is that your thyroid gene secretion will be less. Alright, thyroid gene secretion will be less. Consequently, gland, according to thyroid gland, will be enlarged. So that physical ailment caused due to the hyposecretion or less secretion of this thyroxine is called simple goiter. That's why we need to have the iodized salt. So we commonly get this iodine from this salt itself, which is the iodized salt. Okay, so this iodized salt is recommended even by the government or by the health department of the state and central government as well. So iodized salt is very important for controlling this problem. Okay, so first one, as we have discussed out here, is simple goiter. Second, we have got cretinism. C-R-E-T-I-N-I-S-M, cretinism. Okay, cretinism is another problem which is usually seen in a child. Okay, so this cretinism is also caused due to the hyposecretion or less secretion of thyroxine, which brings about abnormal development in a child. That means your child will not be developed well, abnormal development will be there. Okay, then both mental and physical retardation will be there. Both mental and physical retardation will be seen in the child if this problem occurs due to the less secretion of thyroxine, which is called cretinism. Alright, then third we have problem or physical ailment caused due to hyposecretion or less secretion of thyroxine is your myxedema. Okay, myxedema, M-I-X-O-E-D-E-M-A, myxedema. Please learn the spelling and pronunciation also. Myoxymer is a physical ailment caused due to the hyposecretion or less secretion of this hormone, myoxymer. Okay, myoxymer. So in this myoxymer, what problems can be seen? This is usually seen in adult. Okay, in adult human beings, this problem is seen where general sluggishness. You will be very slack. Okay, slack, general sluggishness. Okay, the person becomes very slack. Okay, face will be swelled up. Even the hands, face, all will be swelled up. So that particular symptoms can be seen in myoxedema caused by hyposecretion or less secretion of thyroxine. Okay, so this is in case of less secretion of this hormone. Okay, so as I've told you that this hormone should be secreted in the correct proportion that your body needs. This is the problems caused due to hyposecretion or less secretion of this hormone. Then again, in the hypersecretion, that means more. Okay, so in hypersecretion, that means if this hormone is secreted more than the body needs, what problem can be seen? Again, as I told you, there will be the problem if the hormone is secreted more than the body requires. Okay, so what are the problems that you can see here is this problem, the amount of hormone secreted more than the body required is called hypersecretion. This is hypo, this is hypersecretion. Okay, so the problems caused by this hypersecretion include enlargement of glands. Glands will be unnecessarily enlarged. Alright, and your metabolic rate will be increased. Okay, metabolic rate. Okay, metabolic rate will be unnecessarily increased. Metabolic means what actually? What do you mean by metabolic activities? So metabolic activities means all the chemical reactions taking place in the body. There are so many chemical reactions that take place there in the body. So as a whole, it is called metabolic activities or metabolism. So if this hormone is secreted more than the body needs, then your metabolic rate of the different activities of the body, I mean the rate of metabolic activities will be unnecessarily increased. Then your heartbeat also will be increased, and restlessness, general restlessness. You will be restless. Okay, you cannot keep quiet. You cannot be patient with a small problem. Also, you will be having problems. Okay, you will be unnecessarily active, overactive or hyperactive. So that problems will be there if this hormone is secreted more than the body needs. Okay, so this is all about your thyroid gland and the hormone called thyroxine secreted by this gland. Okay, so we have discussed what actually it is, and in the hypersecretion, when it is secreted less than the body needs, what problems can be seen? As I have discussed, all simple goitroplatinism, myxedema, that all we have discussed, and if it is secreted more than the body needs, what do you call that condition? As I have discussed, it is called hypersecretion. What problem will be there? That we have seen, the glands will be unnecessarily enlarged, your metabolic rate will be increased. Alright, then your heartbeat will be increased and general restlessness. So all we have discussed. Okay, so today we'll do only this much, and we'll continue in the next class. Before I end it up, let me give you little homework here. Please draw this difference between the usual glands with dot and the dotless glands, which is there in your book itself on page number 45. Please draw this diagram, and also draw this diagram. Okay, that is frontal view of thyroid gland. There are two given, but do this one only. Only frontal view of thyroid gland is needed. Okay, so please see this video seriously, and also keep your book aside so that you can go simultaneously. Alright, so we'll do only this one. Okay, thank you very much.